Wagwan, y'all, it's Dimz back for the attack, but you already know that. And I just finished The World Ends, well, NEO, The World Ends With You demo. And I gotta say, I'm sold. Now, The World Ends With You is a game series that I am familiar with. Honestly, I never thought it was gonna get a sequel, outside of the World Ends With You remix. I was surprised when they had a Switch port, or the Switch version, come out, though, it didn't do so well. But I'm just gonna talk about my thoughts and opinions on Neo: The World Ends With You based on the demo, because I played and finished the demo. And first things first that I gotta say is I love the game. Like, I love the game and I love the story, and right now I think Rindo and Fred, I love them way more than I love Neku. Only because I just love their dynamic and their characters a bit more than what the story focused on Neku's about. Since in the original World Ends With You, it was mainly about Neku being a antisocial outsider who basically, had to learn to how to make friends and such like that. Well, Rindo and Fred, they're already friends, and they have their own personalities, and I just love how, like, I love their dynamic and how they bounce off of each other and how they talk to each other. It's actually fun. And speaking of how they talk to each other, reading the text messages in this game, it's and well, reading the dialogue in this game in general, it's just so funny because it's how real people kind of talk today, and I just I don't know, I just really like that. It's really cool to me to see that this game and the story. I'm just very intrigued. I'm so intrigued that, yeah, I think this is gonna be the next game. I probably 100%. I just like it that much. I like the angle that they're going on with the story about, which is a little different again from the first one, which, that's not a bad thing. It looks like the story that they're this twist on the story that they're doing, which, no spoilers because it's just a demo, is that the first one focused on Nekum basically making friends and the Reaper games. This one is just kind of focused on the Reaper's game mostly, which I do like that, especially now that we know that the Reaper's games have changed since the first one. It's a little bit more different, and yeah, so I was like, oh, I'm very curious of how different it is. All these different Reapers. We have old Reapers that used to be Reapers that are now teammates. How many teammates that we can actually have on the team, and what's in store for Rindo and Fred and their team, whatever name they decide on. Since right now it's like what, Wicked Twisters. So I'm just very intrigued, and it's like I don't see them going with the character development or character growth angle like they did in the first one. Obviously, I'm not saying there's not going to be any character growth, but if they're mostly going to focus on the game and the competition and what is going on with it, I'll be fine with that too, because these characters work well together and they're very entertaining. What kind of isn't entertaining, but it is different, is the battle system. Now, me and my friend, when we was pondering, like, oh, if they made a sequel to The World Ends With You, we were just pondering a bit of like how would they do it, because this was before Neo: The World Ends With You was announced, and this is kind of after the remix or The World Ends With You came to the Switch, and we just saw how that went. We knew they couldn't do the touchscreen battle system because it was kind of made for the DS, and it really worked super well on the DS, and it was just hard to emulate that on home consoles. They did it for the Switch. Again, they didn't do it perfectly, since technically it's still better for you to experience the first game on the DS or even on mobile, just for the battle system, the way it worked. But it did a serviceable job, but only in handheld mode. But that's neither here or there. So we even, well, I had it proposed, if they were going to make a sequel, they were gonna have to go the Kingdom Hearts route or make it a 3D fighter or 3D arena, which they kind of did. I still do love the different things with the pins doing different moves, which that's already baked in. You can't really change that, and I just really like it. I but the only thing I didn't like about the battle system was, even though it was the demo and I couldn't choose the difficulty, I could choose my levels, and the lower your level is, the more you earn. So I just played as level 1 throughout the whole demo, and it's pretty easy. It's pretty easy. It's pretty mindless, kind of. Like it there wasn't so far, because it's only demo purposes. Obviously, I didn't play the full game. I didn't have to think too much. All I had to do was think of how my moves comboed. For the rest, I could pretty much button mash, besides the few times where I just saw the enemy about to attack and I dodged. So the battle system isn't too deep as of right now. Obviously, just the demo. But I don't think it's going to go any deeper than this, besides them probably adding a 4th character. But it's kind of like when to use your pins. You can't really use 2 people at once because the pins have stamina. So these pins are tied to a person, so you can't overuse a person in a single combo. But you're not supposed to, since you get more benefit out of switching people with their new light puck mechanic, or I guess drop the beat mechanic, or switch the beat, or whatever it is. But personally, I don't play The World Ends With You for the battle system, but this one is serviceable. It is kind of mindless. I hope it does go deeper. Either way, I will be playing this game and probably just 100% it by maxing out all the pins. I hope it's easier to 100% than The World Ends With You, since, oh boy, to technically 100% it, you had to collect all pins, and that was technically very, very hard to do without multiple versions of the game and multiple systems. And yeah, so that's something I hope they don't do. But this is just very serviceable. But yeah, like I said, I don't really play for the battle system. I mostly play The World Ends With You for the story. It's a Reaper game story, and I do enjoy those stories. I want to see how they tackle the Reaper's games. Like, technically, Fret and Rindo don't even know how or why they died, which want to go into that. And I want to know, I want to know how does this story wraps up and going to turn into how the world ends with them. If you know what I'm talking about if you finish the first game, how the world ends with them. But yeah, so I just wanted to just discuss my thoughts on it. The battle system is kind of not that deep, but I don't need it to be. I love the story. I love everything so far about it, and I just the game is really, really fun to just experience the story. So honestly, I will be buying this game, and I'm glad that they actually made another one, since the Switch port of the first game didn't do so well, and it's still not even the best version for you to play to experience the first game. But I really like this series, and I'm glad that we got a sequel. So I guess those are my thoughts on the demo. I really like the demo. This game is going to be a must-buy for myself, though the battle system isn't that deep, as far as I know right now. Obviously, things could change. So playing on the hardest difficulty at level 1, I just hope I get a challenge.